pilgrims' journey through the Vatican will take them from the top of iconic St. Peter's Basilica to the underground catacombs where the early Christians escaped persecution. This coming week will take them on a trip through Rome and through history. At the Vatican, Emily Welsh reporting. The ultra marathon is 101 miles through a lot of terrain like this. Tom says it'll take him about 26 hours to complete. And through every mile of exhaustion, he says thinking of the people he's helping will get him to the finish line. Searchers found the body here in the Conewango Creek by the 5th Avenue Bridge. It's within miles of Wobolt's home, and the creek runs right through his backyard.
Emily, she says this was an accident, right?
That's right, Mike. Christina Allen's defense is sticking with her account that she didn't mean to kill Dean Haggerty, but she'll be facing all charges brought against her at her next trial. They've all been bound over to court. The sleek design of the latest technology has students traveling light, but having all these gadgets can be a heavy financial responsibility. Tablets and laptops can add up to thousands of dollars. These are the things that thieves on campus are going for, and if you don't have them insured, it can put a serious strain on an already tight college budget. Good afternoon. I'm Emily Welsh in for Amanda Post. Thanks for choosing 12 News at 12:30. Welcome back on this 4th of July. Now let's take a look at what's going on around the country and around the world today. Egyptians celebrated the overthrow of President Mohamed Morsi, and now the work of replacing him begins. And in another case of theft, police are also on the hunt for 2 people who allegedly broke into a car and stole a credit card. Police say they've caught them on tape using that card. Live in the studio, Emily Welsh, WICU 12 News. The Vatican is a place shrouded in mystery. But the man who lives behind the Vatican walls has made a habit of breaking barriers since he took his seat as head of the Catholic Church.
It seems like he walks the talk of what we all should be as Catholics. His example is just so profound.
He was so welcoming and open and friendly.
The pilgrims from the Diocese of Erie added their praise to that of the tens of thousands of people gathered here in St. Peter's Square from around the globe. Of course, they snapped pictures and took video, but it's impossible to capture that feeling, the emotion of being in the presence of Pope Francis.
It's history. You can't take away just the historical and the religious.
It was unreal to experience the same joy and excitement with all those thousands of people around me.
This is what they came for. The weekly papal audience, where the Pope receives his visitors and imparts a special blessing on them. This is why the Erie area pilgrims, like so many others, traveled thousands of miles over oceans and through time zones to lay eyes on Pope Francis, or as the Italians called out, Papa Francesco.
He stopped right there and saw that really paid off.
It was wonderful. He stopped right in front of us and we waved to him and had a wonderful experience.
Pope Francis' blessing was translated through the square in 6 languages. The message this week was that the church is like a mother. The Pope showed his love of children as well, giving little ones a kiss on the head as he made his rounds through the exuberant crowd. Witnessing people of different nations praying and cheering together in peace, encased by the majestic columns of St. Peter's, brings to pilgrims' minds an image of eternity.
It's wonderful to see people from all over the world, all races, all ethnic backgrounds, all having the same cause.
Well, it's probably going to be what it's going to be like when we go to heaven. And we all are united in our belief and our love, and hopefully we can all love each other more here on earth.
At the Vatican, Emily Welsh reporting. Those who spent the last month searching and praying for Dan Wobolt held out hope that he would be found alive.
I think, as all of us have, hoping for the best, but knowing that it might not end that way.
But during a Sunday morning search, their worst fears were confirmed. Searchers found the body here in the Conewango Creek by the 5th Avenue Bridge. It's within miles of Wobolt's home, and the creek runs right through his backyard. Rescue workers pulled a body from the creek just after noon, 3 hours after an organized search began, with volunteers scouring the land and water for the 69-year-old. Buddy Ward, the pastor at Wobolt's church, got the news after praying for him at Sunday Mass.
It wasn't until after the worship service that one of our congregation members had gotten a text from their husband who was on the team.
He said the past month has been a trying time for the entire community.
Being someone especially as prominent as Dan, acting as a chaplain and as our scout leader, as well as he was involved in the ministerial here in Warren. So in many ways, it's been difficult for all of us.
It will be especially tough for the young Boy Scouts who miss their beloved Scoutmaster.
We've been meeting with them every week to answer any questions or anything that they might have, and it's been good to be able to have that.
Even though the result of the search was a hard-hitting reality, Ward hopes it will start to bring some closure to a community in mourning.
It brings some closure to it, but unfortunately a sad ending.
In Warren, Emily Welsh reporting. Looking around the vendor tents at Roar on the Shore, I started to notice it's all about the bling.
Rhinestone pants, rhinestone shirts, and of course the bling belts.
In my quest to get in on the biker look, I met Cindy Werp, who owns Rider Styles. She brought her business all the way from Florida. She picked out an outfit from head to toe, every piece more blinged out than the last. Okay, so I've got the nice blinged out shirt with a little bit of flames, then the jewelry to match, then the blinged out belt is an essential, and then the stretchy pants with a little bit of the netting on the side. I think I'm all ready to ride in style. Over at Warren Hoke's store, the merchandise is a little more traditional. You won't find any rhinestones embellishing his top items.
Bandanas will keep the sweat out of their eyes. Helmets, probably. Sunglasses are going to be another big one. That's probably my biggest seller, sunglasses.
He sells leather chaps, vests, and gloves too. They're less about the style and more about functionality.
I sell from vests to helmets to eyewear to license plate bolts to whatever you would need on a bike.
Warren said that having the right gear is more about safety than anything. He knows that firsthand.
I wrecked at 140 mile an hour and I had skid gear on and I lived through it. Biker gear is definitely important to the biker. It's helmets save lives.
Whether they're selling fabulous or functional, vendors keep coming back to Erie year after year.
Oh, we're here every year. Absolutely. The parade of bikes that come through here, it just drills home the excitement of everything.
Emily Welsh reporting.
Emily, she says this was an accident, right?
That's right, Mike. Christina Allen's defense is sticking with her account that she didn't mean to kill Dean Haggerty, but she'll be facing all charges brought against her at her next trial. They've all been bound over to court. Christina Allen was tearful as she entered the courtroom today, barely making eye contact with anyone. Allen is charged with criminal homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment in the shooting death of Dean Haggerty this August. Allen allegedly shot the victim during an argument where he accused Allen of cheating on him. It happened inside their Summit Township mobile home. The only witness called to the stand today was State Police Trooper Sean Pierce, who was at the crime scene and interviewed Allen. Pierce testified that during questioning, Allen changed her story several times, finally stating that Haggerty was waving the gun around when she grabbed it from him and then pointed it at him to scare him. She says that was when it accidentally went off, killing Haggerty. Now, the families of both Allen and the victim were present at the hearing but weren't ready to speak with us. Right now, Allen remains in the Erie County Prison with no bond set. Live in the studio, Emily Welsh, WICU 12 News. Dozens of people from the Diocese of Erie will begin the last leg of their pilgrimage here in Rome on Tuesday. I'm Emily Welsh, and tonight we'll take a closer look at their journey of faith through Italy. That's coming up on 12 News. You can't go to Rome and not do a little sightseeing. During their free time, many of the travelers may find themselves here at the Spanish Steps, or maybe doing a little shopping on the Via dei Condotti, where designers like Gucci and Dior line the streets. The heart of this trip is prayer, but time is set aside to experience Italian culture outside the church, too. The poverty rate in Erie is nearly twice the national average. 26.1% of people in the city are struggling to make ends meet below the poverty line. The need isn't going to end here, but this fair is a step in the right direction. Clearly, the sanctions aren't just affecting a football program, but an entire university. The football program and the university will feel the impact for years to come, but the victims will struggle to overcome the abuse for the rest of their lives. In State College, I'm Emily Welsh reporting. Having one of Lee's creations with all these tiny little holes could have a big impact on productivity, 15 to 30%. And for industrial farmers, it means a huge savings, tens of thousands of dollars in fertilizer. That's good for the economy and the environment. But thanks to the German Fulbright Commission, 15 young American journalists got to see Berlin in a whole new way. Safety is a priority here at the gun club, but unfortunately on the streets of Erie, recent shootings tell a much different story. Still, competitors here say that stricter gun laws would only prove more harmful.